So I'm going to do a small one, and so we start with some basics here. I've got a couple of smallish potatoes, a clove of garlic there, a couple of eggs. I've got an onion. Don't worry, we're not going to use the whole onion. So you'll notice I've got the garlic has been kind of smashed and coarsely chopped. I've got the diced onion here, and I've got the potato. And generally, I like to do the potato fairly thin. So it's about like this and about maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay. And what I'm going to do to save a little time is put all of this in a bowl and nuke it in the microwave. Officially, what you would want to do is do this first step in a pan, but I'm going to do it in the microwave. So I've got the potatoes, the onions, and the garlic in there. I'm going to throw in a little bit of olive oil and stir it around so it's evenly coated. And I'm going to cook it in the microwave at about 40% power for 4 minutes. I also put a couple of pinches of kosher salt in there. So now I'm going to put it in the microwave. All right, so I took that out. They cooked for about 10 minutes in the microwave, which I guess isn't that much faster, but it can help save on mess and sticking a little bit. You test it with the fork, and it is done enough. So what we're going to do is set this aside, let it cool for a sec, and now what we're going to do is beat a couple of eggs. All right. With a fork. Okay. And now we are going to turn this on. You'll notice I'm using a cast iron pan. Usually you want to use a non-stick pan if you've got one the right size, but I happen to like my cast iron pan, as you know, and usually works out for me. So I'm going to turn that on. Start it on high heat just so it heats up, and then we'll turn it down because cast iron gets very hot. And as you also know, I like to spray the pan with spray. All right. Set this up. Okay, and that'll heat up. And as we're letting that heat up, what we're going to do is put the eggs in with the potatoes. Okay. Stir it around. Remember, I salted the potatoes a little bit before I cooked them. But now what I'm going to do is I am going to taste it and make sure that it's salty enough for me. Okay. Kind of, but it needs a little more. My general rule of thumb with this dish is if it tastes kind of salty enough, you want to add a little more salt. You don't want it to be too salty, but you also don't want it to be bland. Okay, so got the pan heating up, and what we're going to do is add, I don't know, a tablespoon or two of olive oil. Okay, let that heat up. We want it to shimmer in the pan. Okay. All right, let's give it a shot. The pan looks hot enough now. We'll turn this down a little bit. And, oh, I got a lot of oil in there. Maybe too much oil. Okay. Get that all in there. Why did I do this in the microwave? Well, traditionally, you're going to fry the eggs in a pan. Not the eggs, fry the potatoes in a pan and the onions, and you have to kind of watch it all the time and stir it frequently and make sure that it doesn't stick. What I like about doing it in the microwave is I can stick it in there and forget about it while I do other things and then come back and stir it. I ended up doing the microwave portion for about 10 minutes, and what I did with that was just every couple of minutes you pull it out, stir it around, test it for doneness, and it ended up taking about 10 minutes for these 2 potatoes because I was doing it at 40% power. Once this is looking like it's kind of set on the bottom, okay, you want a lid that'll fit securely over your pan. Okay, If you don't have a lid for your pan, a plate that'll fit securely over the pan will work just fine. Now I like to do this over the sink in case something disastrous happens, but I don't know if you're going to see the sink. Let me check and see. Well, you're not going to really see the sink, so I'm going to do it right here. So to flip it, we do this. Really slide it off, and let me wipe off the burner a little bit. Okay. So we got a little bit of potato. Now, cookbooks will tell you to only flip it once. I usually flip it a couple of times. Okay. You want to cook it so that it gets done on the other side as well, and then we'll set it aside when it's done. All right, let's try flipping it again. See how it looks. Ouch! Looking pretty good. Supposed to happen. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Sometimes, you might want to just open up a little bit, see how it looks inside. I like it to still be moist inside. You don't want it to be runny, liquidy. I'm going to turn it again. Let it get a little darker on that side. But this is almost done. Okay, so this is pretty much done, and what I'm going to do is turn it out onto a plate, let it cool for a bit while I clean up. Now I like to eat these things at room temperature, but I'm going to cut this one a little ahead of time, just so we can see what it looks like. Alright, there you go, still moist inside, but just the way that we like it. So, hope you enjoy.